I'm telling you guys that is because there's going to be so many moments in your Herbalife business, just like for me, where you just want to be comfortable, right? And you just want to have up. Like I wake up, you guys, just so you guys understand, when I wake up in the morning, I do abs in bed. And some days I wake up and I don't want to do no abs. Some days I go to a restaurant and everybody's like, I remember one time I was with my team and some dessert came out, and I never want dessert. Let me make that very clear. It's not something that I'm tempted by, right? But this particular day, some chocolate cake came out, and it was nice and warm, and I could see the ice cream melting on the side of the chocolate cake, and I didn't really want the whole piece, but I wanted a bite. And I remember one of my distributors looked at me, and they said, see, I can't wait to be like Style. He never will eat this. And I was like, shit. She just don't know how bad I want to take a bite of this chocolate cake. But now that she said, I can't wait to be like Style, now I can't do it, right? So I'm telling you guys, I'm saying that small metaphor because here's what happens. When you start to build an organization, your organization actually holds you more accountable. So instead of being afraid to build your organization, be excited to. But I will promise you this, if you only invite people just like you to your team would only be one line of people, okay? So in order to have if you want a small business, only invite people like you to your team. If you want a large business, you got to be open to being able to mentor and sponsor and work with people that are not necessarily like you. You guys get what I'm saying? Okay, I want you guys to be very clear about this because this happens for people and they don't necessarily know how to handle it. I was very fortunate. Let me make this very clear. And I'm not just saying this because she's your upline. I was very fortunate to have Nicole as my very first supervisor. I'm going to tell you why. She was a lot more savvy. She was a lot more bold. She was a lot more outgoing. She was a lot more courageous than I was. Okay? And that gave me life. Let me make that very clear. One day, me and Nicole went to do a fit camp, right, at this college. And this young lady was walking up, and she had workout clothes on, and she was smoking a cigarette. And my brain said, what? What is she doing smoking a cigarette? She just got done working out. Nicole walked up to the girl and said, hey, why are you smoking that cigarette? I was like, oh, shit, I can't believe she just did that, right? And the girl was looking at Nicole like, I don't even know you, crazy lady. Like, get out of here, right? But I was so excited because I was like, one day I want to be able to have – now, I'm not saying that, but I want to be able to have that kind of fearlessness. How many of you guys want to be able to walk up to a complete stranger and not be afraid like that? Anybody on this call besides me? Like, I was like, oh, my God, I got the best person in the world on my team. It's going down. Like, y'all got to get it. Because if I would have met somebody like me, we'd have both been at 199 volume points at the 29th of the month. Like, I just need y'all to understand that. Like, I was not courageous. I was not bold. I was not out. In my heart, I felt like a lion. How many of y'all feel like a beast, but your action don't line up? You're like, I'm a beast inside. Deep down inside, I'm a beast, right? You see people doing stuff on Instagram, you're like, I can do that. I'm a beast. And then when you go to the gym and try it, you're like, damn, I can't do it. You know, like that's how I felt when I joined Herbalife. I just want you guys to understand because the person you guys see now, I say this all the time in the beginning I don't know if you remember this, Nicole, and even Mama Lakin. I would always say, like, you guys, I am not the same person I was when I started. And so that's what I want you guys to understand is when you join Herbalife, you get to work on who you are. And that's the exciting part. Take it on. Like, you ever saw that book where it said, every day do something that scares you? Like, that's what you get to do inside of Herbalife. You get to literally recreate your entire life in front of people's eyes so that when they see you in 2018, which is 4 months from now, they'll go, I don't even recognize you. You look like the same doula, but you acting different. You're walking different. You're talking different. You're responsible. Like, come on, man. You would have never thought somebody with the situation that doula grew up in and what he went through would be the kind of husband and leader and father and like all these amazing things about this guy. They would have never been able to imagine it. And now they see him and like, yo, but doula, let's go get the girls. And he's like, no, I got the girl. You know what I mean? Like, he's not even, it's like, it's not even in his foresight to understand that. So when you guys think about that, imagine inside of Herbalife, you get to create that. Right? I'm like going on because I want you guys to be very clear that your vision is so important. Can you guys please promise me that your vision will grow? Just give me a shake your head yes. Promise me your vision will grow. The reason why I'm saying that's so key is now when you're doing the work, it's worth it. Listen, this small group of people on this call, you guys are doing some magical stuff. And it's so beautiful. It's so exciting. It's so exciting. It's so fearless. It's so bold. It's so like outside of the box, and it fires people up. You have no idea how much you guys are doing inside this organization that's getting your team and your organization excited about where they're going, but you cannot be distracted by your success. Okay? Let me make this very clear. What you guys are doing now is still like a dot on what's possible for you. All right? I remember in Herbalife when I made my first $72 and I had the check and I was showing everybody. I was like, yo, I went to my cousin. I'm like, Jason, that's my cousin's name. I said, come over to my house. He's like, well, I said, bro, you got to see this. He's like, see what? I was like, don't worry about it. Like, you got to come see it. And he comes over. He's like, I don't know what he thought. I was like, look, bro. He was like, what? I was like, look at this check. It got Herbal. I'm like, anybody still get their checks? It said Herbalife on it. It had my name on it. And it was like $72. I was like, bro, you see this? He was looking at me like, bro, $72? You made me come all the way over here from the valley to come see this $72. I said, you got to join. I said, you are so good. I said, he's like, bro, do you know 6 years later, my cousin Jason still has not joined. 6 years later, he has, and I showed him my very first check. And every time I see him, he's like, bro, I'll be running into people. And they be like, oh, trying to invite me to Herbalife. And I'd be like, oh, my cousin Style do. He'd be like, bro, are you like the president or something of Herbalife? I'd be like, no. He's like, man, everybody be like, that's your cousin? What? I'm like, dude, what are you waiting on? He didn't have 19 jobs. But here's the thing. Just because you guys got vision doesn't mean everybody's going to see it. No matter how excited, no matter how passionate, no matter how driven, no matter how clear you guys are about Herbalife, I told you to have big vision, but I want you to be clear that's not the only way for people to join. Because people will see your vision, they'll hear it, they'll feel your passion, and they still will not say yes. Okay, I want you guys to be very clear by that. Because some people, they misunderstand it. They'll hear speakers on stage say, you got to have passion, you got to have drive. And they forget that just because you have it doesn't mean necessarily people are going to join. And here's what can happen. It also can deter people. Here's why. In my opinion, once again, it makes people look in the mirror. You understand? Because when you wake up so fired up about your life, and you're excited and you're like, I'm about to do something with my life. I'm going somewhere. And they're looking at you like, you stupid, I hate you. They don't hate you, you guys. Let me make that. They hate themselves. You understand what I'm saying? I really want you guys to be able to see that so you don't take it personal. And somebody's like, ew, like, I'm going to block you. Like, I can't even tell you how many block lists I'm on right now. I'm on mad block list right now. Our goal should be on, let's get a goal how many people can block us. You know what I mean? Like, I'm serious. Here's why. Because you guys are way too damn happy. You understand? It is not common. I really want you to be clear about it. It's not common to be that happy. Here's what happens when you're that happy. They wake up, they're upset, they're angry, and they look at your timeline, and you're like, good morning, have my Herbalife tea. Did you have yours? And they're like, no, I didn't have my damn Herbalife tea. Right? And you're like, all right, I'm sorry, I love you. Did you do a person? And then you say something like this that's super deep. Did you do personal development today? And they're like, like, don't say that to me. Like, nobody wants to hear that when you're not in the good. Have you ever on this call been in a bad mood and your upline be like, did you do your personal development today? You're like, I'm about to personal develop your face. You understand? So imagine us that are so deep and we're so amazing that when somebody says it to us, how we feel, imagine how they feel. It's like times a million. All right. So now what do we do inside of that? All right. Here's what you guys got to decide. How do you want to be known? If you actually don't have to do anything. Let me make that very clear. I apologize for using those words. What do you guys want to be known for? All right. Because our time is, as far as like life is concerned, our time frame that we have, like it goes by so quick. How many of you guys remember like when you very first started in Herbalife? How many remember like when you were just like, you didn't even make your first shake right? You know what I mean? Like you had the tea and you made too much of it and your stomach was hurting, right? You took the multivitamin without eating food first and you was like, oh, I feel like I'm gonna die, right? But you didn't want to say nothing because you didn't want to sound like Herbalife was bad. Or you didn't clean your shaker cup out and left it in the car. Like, come on. Like, how many of you guys remember those things in the beginning? And you're like, people were like, oh, it's so amazing, but I don't want to tell you about it. You know what I mean? Like, y'all get my point. We've all made those mistakes. Or you took hella tablets, but you didn't have enough water. Come on. Like, how many of you guys have done those things, right? And you've been like, but I don't want to talk about it, right? How many of you guys are like, your body hurts after a fit camp and you try to pretend like I'm good, like, but everything about your body is on fire, right? There's so many things that happen inside of our lives that we never get to share or express, right? I want you guys to understand that we're all going through the same thing on this call. And that's the beautiful thing. That's what brought us all together. Listen, there is no such thing as coincidences. Let me make that very clear. Like, each and every one of you guys that are on this call right now, we're all on this call for a reason. All of us, no matter where you live or where you're from, your nationality, your income, none of that stuff. All of us are here exactly at the right place at the right time. So now that I want to start I want to say something that's very important is that I love you guys. Even if I don't necessarily know you, here's why I'm going to say that is because I never had that growing up. That's not something that was common in my life or my family or my situation, or even easy for me to be able to say. So I would tell you guys is inside of Herbalife, you get to really recreate your life. Okay. We can talk about the things that inspire. If you guys want to know the inspirational side, it's fun. It's exciting. You know, my Marcus bonus, you guys, this year was $68,000 in one day, right? My check that month was $75,000 from Herbalife, right? I won the North American Humanitarian the same exact day, right? It'll blow your mind. I've flown first class for the last 4 years of my life, right? There's not a thing that I necessarily financially want, but outside of that, listen, there is something else. You understand? Like, I got a car. I just bought a brand new car, you guys. My car, my Jaguar SVR is 575 horsepower. It's a $141,000 car. Okay, and I have a Range Rover that's sitting outside. Amazing stuff, right? I have a house, right? My mortgage is $10,000 a month, just so you guys can understand, right? Yeah, some of y'all, stop eating my damn food up again. Right? It's $10,000 a month, just so you guys understand, right? I'm saying these things not to impress you. I just want you to I want to get those out of the way, so that's not the grand finale. Y'all hear what I'm saying? That's not the grand finale, right? Let me make that very clear. That is not the grand finale. Those things create certain stability in your life. I already have about $350,000 in my investment account to where I'm 60 years old, and I can't even touch it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I need you guys to be very clear on what you can create. Last year, I made $510,000. That was my income from Herbalife last year, right? So you guys can understand what's possible for you. But first, now that you guys know, y'all hear me? That's not designed to be impressive, but I want you to know, how do we achieve that? Everybody want to experience that in their life at some point and beyond? How do we achieve it? Okay, that is the biggest question. Number one, eliminate as many distractions out of your life as possible. I'm going to say it again so you guys can understand where I'm coming from. You have to eliminate as many distractions as possible in your life. Whatever it is for you. I don't know what you can handle and what you can't handle. Okay? For me, there's certain things I can't handle, so I don't do those things. Right? Those things are very important to me. Listen, I don't drink. I don't smoke. Primarily, here's why. My mother passed away when I was 9 years old to alcohol and medication. My father, my stepfather and my mom fought every day before my mom passed away because of alcohol, right? I saw a lot of horrible things happen to my family because of alcohol and medication and other things, drugs that my family was using. All four of my brothers and my sisters were in and out of jail because of the alcohol and medication and drugs. So I personally chose, when I got old enough to make my own decision, that would be never something that I would go out. And my oldest brother said something to me when I was 10 years old. He said, Stout, promise me this. You'll never go out like a sucker. And I was like, what do you mean? He said, it's a sucker to die over some drugs or some money or cars or something. He's like, never go out like a sucker. And I was like, I promise you, I'll never go out like a sucker, right? So when I was 10, I made that promise and I was really excited about it. So that's why I don't do it. I'm not here to tell you guys not to do it. But here's what I will tell you. I see people every day make dumb decisions because of those choices every day. Instead of waking up early and going after the goals and their dreams, they're hungover, right? And it's sad. I worked on a cruise ship, and on a cruise ship, you see the most drunk people ever. And a lot of my friends got fired and sent home. We was in Honduras one day, and when a cruise ship fires you, they take you to your room with security. They grab your bags, they take you off the ship, and they don't care if you got a ticket or money the way to get home. Do you understand? They will take you off in Honduras. One guy got taken off, the other guy got taken off. He was in Costa Rica. They literally take you off because he came on the ship drunk. And I said, he just went out like a sucker. Would you guys agree? That's something that you can control. So inside of Herbalife, what did I do? What was the difference? Listen, I didn't have a huge following, and I was around a bunch of winners. I need you guys to understand that. Some of you guys feel like on this call, oh, we got new people, they're killing it. Right? Ari and Dula, they got 15,000 volume points. Like, I can never do that. Like, I got to have a baby to do volume or whatever. Like, you guys are saying in your head, you know what I mean? Like, all these different things, like Nicole's this or whoever you guys are. I don't care who you're comparing to. Damn that. You hear me? Everybody that I was around was doing 20,000 volume points and 10,000 volume points. More volume than you guys are doing right now, they were doing, and I had only 2,500. But you know what I said? I don't care about that. I'm going to stay in my lane. Right? I'm going to be inspired, put these blinders on like a horse, right? I'm a stallion, baby, right? A black stallion at that, right? I put my blinders on, and I was like, I'm going somewhere. I want you guys to say that. I don't care where you're at financially, mentally, emotionally, physically. I want you guys to say to yourself internally, I'm going somewhere, because Herbalife don't care about none of that stuff, you guys. They wouldn't even let me share my story. It took me 3 months to get to supervisor. And when we were at the HOM or at the events, I would say, can I share my story? And they'd be like, no, Style, we'll talk later. They wouldn't let me share my story because it took me 3 months to get to supervisor. They wouldn't let me share my story because I only made $72. And they wanted the room to go, it's easy and you can do it quick. People are like, Nicole remembers, people get in front of the room. I hit supervisor in 2 weeks. And last month I made 4,000. I used to be like, what the freaking A are they doing? And I compared myself. So I'm going to challenge you guys. If you did it, let it go. I compared myself to Laura Holloway because she was super tall and everybody she brought into the meetings were super tall. And I'm like, how does she do it? Then I compared myself to Valentine Iudo because he was a nurse. And I was like, that's because everybody want to join because he's a nurse and they trust him. Right? Then I compared myself to Heather Swartz because she was always excited and motivated and bubbly and jumping around. I'm like, I can't be bubbly like that. Then I would look at Mark and Jill and I'm like, y'all get it. There ain't no way I can be Ken and Barbie. It's impossible. I'm black and I'm single, right? So I'm like, how am I going to make Herbalife happen for me, right? How many guys feel like that? You can be honest. You can just put your hand down a little bit if you don't want to say it. How am I going to make it work for me? Here's the word: consistency. Always wins. Every single day. See, the difference is, like, and I'm not saying this to single people out, but so I won't say their names, but some of those people that I mentioned, they hit Get Team and even Millionaire Team before I did, right? And some of those people at the time, people were running like ads and stuff like that. So I'd be like, how do they have all these people coming into the meetings? And they were like doing like Craigslist ads and all this other stuff. And I'm like, so one day I went home, I tried to create a Craigslist ad, and then they asked me for $20. I was like, I ain't got $20. I'm trying to get $20. And I was just like, see, I'm never going to make it. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to just stay and stick to what I can do. So I decided that I'm not going to give up and I'm going to be consistent. And I say this to people and they just they don't take the philosophy and the understanding on how I took it. Because I didn't have a mentor, you guys, my father is still alive. I don't know where he's at and I don't know what he's doing in his life. I don't have any hard feelings for him, but he wasn't there, right? Mark and Jill, I always credit a lot of my success to Mark and Jill, but I never talked to Mark and Jill on the phone. I never called Mark and was like, hey, Mark, what do you think about this? I just was like, I'm going to use them as inspiration. So here's what I decided to do, all right? I want you guys to understand this. Will Smith said, if you get on the treadmill with me, either you're going to quit or I'm going to die. And I heard that and I was like, holy crap. I've never took on that kind of philosophy in anything in my life, right? So I said, So this is what I said. Either I'm going to make it in Herbalife or I'm going to die. Now, I'm not asking for you guys to take on that kind of philosophy. I told you where I'm at right now, financially, mentally, and emotionally, but I want you guys to understand my mindset to be able to get to that point. All right? Mark and Jill, after 5 years, hit President's Team. They were making $30,000 a month. And because I didn't feel like I was as educated, as intelligent, and because I was black, I'm going to be honest with what I was thinking. I said, there's no way I can make $30,000, but I can do half. So I said, in 5 years, you guys tell me if this is a bad plan. If 5 years I'm making $15,000 a month, is that a bad plan? That's a phenomenal plan. I was like, you have no idea how excited. You know how many things you can do with $15,000 a month? Do you know how many things you can do? Let me tell you what I was going to do when I made $15,000 a month. And I apologize for all the children on the call, but I was going to be naked on an island drinking coconuts. That was my big plan. I just want you guys to understand, it was not to be doing no Zoom calls. it was to be naked on an island. I don't know what island, but whatever island was going to allow me to. So I had a master plan. I'm sorry, Joe. I'm sorry. I'm trying to say your name, but I can't say it. Giovanna's. I'm sorry. Hopefully the baby don't understand what I'm talking about, so I'm not going to say it again. But that was my plan. I just want you guys to understand. I don't have no kids. I didn't have no dog at the time, right? I didn't have no car. So I was like, cool, I can go to an island. And in my head, any island you go to is going to be cheap. So I'm going to be living like a king. Y'all follow me? Y'all follow? I had a master plan. Now, this is before personal development and Jim Rohn and Mark Hughes really got into my life. And here's what I want you guys to understand. I didn't have a lot of clients yet. I didn't have a big team yet. So I hadn't fell in love with really anybody. All I was worried about was myself. All right. I want you guys to think about what I'm saying right now. In the beginning, you're typically only concerned about yourself because you want to change your situation. Anybody agree with me? It's okay to agree, actually. Some of y'all are like, I don't know if that's a trick question. You have to take care of self. Okay. I'm going to say it again. You have to take care of self. This is very important because you cannot be all that you can be for other people until you get yourself right. All right. Because if you're always sad and you're always depressed and you're always angry and you're always hungry, you always ain't got nothing, then how are you going to be there for other people? All right. I want you guys to be very clear about that. Like, I don't know what it's going to take for you to feel complete or excited. But for me, it was one thing. I'm going to tell you what it was. This is how fast I felt complete. Somebody posted something online or whatever. I don't remember who it was or when it was, but it was a photo. And anybody just put me if you guys have ever seen this. It was a photo of a woman or a man. I don't remember exactly. They were walking on the beach and there was 2 sets of footprints, but there was only one person walking. And it said, "You are never alone." And I saw that and I started crying. I was in my room. I felt like there was nobody there. I couldn't pay my rent, you guys. I was freaking eating ice at nighttime. I had this Herbalife dream, right? I saw what was possible in Herbalife, but nothing was happening. I was going to the events. I went to Extravaganza, and I was crying in my room when I saw this one stupidly amazing photo of this woman or man walking on the beach, and there was footprints next to them. And I was like, yo, God is always here, or whatever your faith is. And I was like, I remember the next day I went out and I did some invitations. And I said, as I was talking to people, I was like, I'm not alone anyway. And I never said it out loud because I didn't want to seem crazy. But inside of my spirit, I was like, I'm not alone. I'm not alone. Because when you go out and do invites, that shit is scary, right? Be honest. Anybody else think it's scary? Or even if you got a flyer, right? Have you ever did a flyer? You're like, hey, here you go. Hi, right? Or even if you're like working out and somebody's looking at you, somebody can say to you, hey, I need to lose weight and I like shakes. And you'll still be like, oh, hi. Yeah, hi. I'm just saying, maybe you guys aren't like that, but for me, that's how I was, right? So once I realized, yo, I'm never alone, the game was lit or on fire. I became a beast. I said, I'm not letting 12 o'clock hit unless I have some contacts, some invitations, and people coming to the next thing that I got going on. You hear what I just said? I became a beast, right? My volume went from 2501 to 2502. You couldn't tell me nothing, right? The next month, 3,000 volume points. Your boy was on fire, right? I started going to the I started going to the workouts. Not only did I go to the workouts, I started leading the station. After the workout, we would take our GUS photo. It would be like me, Nicole, Mama Lakin, and Jason. But I was like, woo, we got a little squad, right? We take our little photo. We put the worst little GUS thing on the bottom of it because the graphics back in the day wasn't that great. If y'all go back and look at some of them old photos. They look terrible. If you posted those today, you would get no likes, right? But we was fired up. We would go to the event, and we would be like, we the Get Uncomfortable squad. And then people will say it on stage. You'd be like, hey. And I was like, yo, you guys, like one day, things are going to happen for us. You know what I mean? And then the volume went from 3,000 volume points. Here's why volume is important, you guys. What it allows you to do is it allows you to bring people into what you guys are doing. So what I decided to do is keep it very simple. All right? I failed the second grade because I couldn't read. I'm scared as hell to talk in front of a room. All right? I don't have a lot of words in my vocabulary. Something that I would pray about when I was younger. I used to pray about this. Listen to me. Have you ever saw somebody or been around somebody that you always feel like they always say the right thing at the right time? Anybody got a friend like that? You're like, yo, I used to pray that I can be the person that says the right thing at the right time. That was like one of my ultimate life goals. Because I would get in an argument with somebody, and then like the argument, they would leave, and then 45 minutes later, I'd be like, man, I should have said this. I'd be like, dang, I should have said that. Like that was me all day. And I was like, if in life I can really have the right thing to say at the right time, everything would change for me. Right? So here's what I decided to do. When I got people, you guys, I started on shake and tea because that's all I could afford. And I would be at the nutrition club, and I would hear people getting people on $300 plans and $400 nutrition plans and all these things. And I'd be sitting there and I'd be like, what? How did you do that? Right? And then I saw those same people treat people that spent more money better than the people that didn't spend a lot. And here's the one thing I said, I'm never going to do that. And here's why I said that. You guys, I grew up in the foster care system, and I was physically beat as a kid. And I remember exactly what it's like to be treated less than another human being. And it feels like crap. So promise me something. You guys will treat people, no matter your customer. If they order cellulose from you, or they order like, I got a client. This is the first time this has ever happened to me in 6 years. I got a client that ordered almost every product in the catalog. And all I told her to order was shake, tea, and cellulose. I don't know where she came from. I think it's Mars or Venus or something like that. And she's like one of my best clients today. Like she's texting me every 10 minutes. I love her to death. And I was like, where were you at 6 years ago? You would have built my confidence like crazy, right? But my point is, you guys, promise me you will treat people. And here's what happened. Adversity happened. So to tell you guys, I don't have a lot of time. Adversity happened. The moment I got the most excited about Herbalife, I got punched in the face hard as hell by Mike Tyson. All right. I'm going to explain to you what that means in a second. My biggest fear, you guys, that what I had in my past was some things that I have done that I'm not really proud of. I don't have time to go into the details, but there's some things that I have done in my past that I'm not proud of. And somebody in Herbalife that's supposed to be my family and my team and this exciting thing that I'm a part of decided that they were going to send it to my entire organization. So they found my mistakes. They sent it to my entire organization. And now everything that I was afraid of, everything that I was scared of, all the fears, everything I was hiding from in my past, it came right in front of my face. And all I wanted to do was quit. All right. I was scared out of my mind because I was like, yo, I don't want to know this to me. I made mistakes in the past and people are going to think that I'm not this good person. I'm this, I'm that. And I'm telling you guys this is because the reason why that happened to me was because God had a plan for my life. And I'm going to tell you why. Here's the deal. The closer you get to what you want in Herbalife, the more adversity is going to come. But it's just a test. It's not to actually stop you. I'm going to say it to you guys again. When you feel like, what the hell is going on? That's the time you need to double the effort, double the momentum, double the energy, and here's what happened, you guys. That day I wanted to quit. I was crying. I was like torn up. I was like, I don't want to go to nutrition club because people are going to look at me funny. I don't know who saw the email. I don't know this. I don't know that. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening to me. Some of my team members quit on me. My girlfriend at the time broke up with me. Everything was going to shit. There's no other word for it, so I apologize. There's literally no other word. Everything was down, and all I wanted to do was hide. And here's what happened, you guys. I decided I'm going to come back harder. because my team was like, Style, we love you. Not all of them. Some of them quit. Thank God Nicole didn't quit, right? Some of them was like, yo, we love you. We got your back. We're rocking with you. You guys, and because of that, we stayed together tight as a team. And instead of judging each other, we started working off each other's strengths, right? I was motivated by Nicole. She was motivated by me. Jason started doing higher volume. I started doing higher. We started to work as a family and as a coach, and there was no judgment. Didn't matter if you were good or you were bad. If you did 1,000 volume points, you felt just as good as the person that did 10,000 because you were part of something that was greater than yourself, you guys. And we hit my very first cut of President's Team because of that adversity. But imagine if that day I decided to quit. Or imagine if you hear that this is what most people do. They don't quit really in Herbalife anymore. They usually just slow down. That's the word that you hear. Or take a break. F breaks, man. We had enough breaks. I'm just saying it. The only way I can say it to you guys is because this is an opportunity of a lifetime, you guys. After reaching the President's Team, you guys, we went 200,000 volume points. You guys, my second month of President Team was 250,000 my volume points. My final cut of President's Team was like 300,000 volume points. You guys, and we went straight into 20K. And what happens is, you guys, your life changes. Here's what happened to me because we got 2 minutes. It felt like it was hard as hell, and then it felt amazing. I don't remember there being like this really sweet middle ground point. I'm only telling you guys that so you guys can see the true contrast that happens in life. And so for me, you guys, it all came full circle because there's a lot of things that I wanted to do in my life that are important to me. My sister's on her very last strike. As far as if she goes back to the jail, she's not getting back out. Because after my mother passed away, my sister took it a lot harder than I did. And she started doing things she shouldn't have did. So I've been taking care of my sister for the last 4 years now. You guys, my oldest brother is losing his eyesight, and he's in and out of being homeless. So right now I've been taking care of him. Also, whenever I can find him or be there for him. My nephew, when I was in foster care, just so you guys understand, my nephew and I were both in foster care at the same time. My nephew didn't handle it as good as I did. Today, he still struggles with it even harder than me. But when I die, he doesn't know this, so don't tell him. So I ain't going to tell you his name. Everything that I have created inside of Herbalife, unless I have kids one day, is going to go to my nephew. So the income that you guys heard, his name is on that. And my auntie's like the guarantee of him just in case, you know, he doesn't make the bad decisions with the amount of money that I'm making. So that is where that's at. The life insurance is set, you guys, for my family and those kind of things. My auntie took me in after my mother passed away because I had nowhere to go. And she fought for me. And so every Herbalife vacation for President's Team members, I take her with me. She flies first class. I told her she doesn't necessarily need the money because she worked her butt off all life. But I was like, don't sell your house, because she was going to sell her house when she retired. She was going to sell her car and get something smaller. I was like, you better not, because you were the only person in our family that was there for everybody that needed our support. And that is because Herbalife has given me that kind of freedom and that kind of love and that kind of excitement. So when you guys see me fired up, it's way deeper than just a check that I get from Herbalife. It's about the people and the lives that we've actually changed. I was a waiter in a restaurant 6 years ago. So thank you guys for allowing me to share. Our vision is clear. We got some President's Team members coming. We got some Millionaire Team members coming real soon. We got some super fire Active World Team members coming on here this call too. I see you guys are pumped. If you don't invite people to the opportunity, you'll be sad that you're not a part of this, what's happening. So I'm just grateful that you guys are pumped about this in this lifetime. So thank you guys. I know I got to get off here because Asia's got to host the next call, and she's sitting right here looking at me like, I don't know what to do. So I love you guys. It's been phenomenal. Man, I wish we had another 10 minutes. I'm sorry, Nicole.
Why are you sorry?
I don't know, because I felt like I was right there.
Perfect. Give it up for Style, guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Love you guys. See you on the next call.